Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the March Madness preview right here on Jackson Johnson 979, Will and D, and Only Talk Sports, as we are joined by the one and only himself, Matt Zemek from College Wire at USA Today, USC Trojans Wire, the lead editor and co-host of USC Primetime Live with Ethan Emmon and Crashlet Collier. All right there on USC Voice College Football, as we will all be going over our takes on the 2026 edition of the March Madness bracket. Let me tell you something, folks. You're going to be in for a wild ride. Gentlemen, how's it going tonight?
Doing pretty good.
Yeah, excited for the March Madness.
Thanks for having me. Glad to be here. Let's roll.
Glad to have you. And we'll go over the start of we'll start things off with the East region for a little bit. And that's going to be a fun one right there, because
not a walk in the park for Duke, although hopefully they can get Gongba back for their sakes, but not a walk in the park for sure.
No, it's not. But we've got Ohio State TCU. That's the first game of the NCAA tourney. Like,
nice way to start it off too. Like a good 8-9 matchup, very intriguing. Honestly, crazy that Ohio State ended up as an 8 seed with how long they were on the bubble. Like, they were the only bubble team that actually did really, really good for themselves at the very end of the regular season in the tournament. All the other bubble teams were just trying to fall out of the field or did fall out of the field.
Oof.
Really, TCU actually did good too. They also improved. But like, Ohio State was the one that for the longest time people thought they weren't going to get in. So I like that matchup.
Matt, what do you think about the Ohio State TCU matchup?
Yeah, I think you start with the reality that if you can contain Bruce Thornton, you contain Ohio State. And can Bruce Thornton, TCU's whole game plan is going to be about stopping him. Can Bruce Thornton thrive in spite of all the attention TCU is going to throw his way? So, like, that's a limitation on Ohio State, and that makes me slightly lean to TCU. And, TCU has been a basketball backwater for a long time, and Jamie Dixon continues to make NCAA tournaments at TCU. He keeps reminding us how good a coach he is. Almost got Pitt to the Final Four. The guy can still do it. So I'm going to lean TCU here, but I wouldn't say anything's a lock in an 8-9 game.
Yeah, I mean, when you're looking at Jamie Dixon or Jake Diebler, like, you just I have to lean Jamie Dixon. For sure.
I would too, absolutely.
For sure. For me, I'm just kind of flipping a coin on Ohio State TCU, and for me, that's TCU all the way on that one.
Yeah, I'm going to make my official predictions tomorrow when I do my stream with Austin. But, I mean, at least for the sake, I'll do leans for now. I'll just say leans. I won't make official prediction, but I have to agree with that. TCU seems like the more trustworthy pick just because of Jamie Dixon, but that is a pretty 50-50 game.
True. And we've got St. John's and Northern Iowa going against each other, and Kansas and Cal Baptist University. Louisville, South Florida, an original
upset alert there.
Oh, man. Michigan State, North Dakota State. Is that an upset alert? Can North Dakota State pull a little upset in college basketball? That's going to be
Izzo fun. Usually doesn't get beat early, though. Usually. But you never know. It is March, but he typically at least gets like a win or two in the tournament.
Ooh, Matt, what do you think?
Well, in that subsection, Louisville has not been healthy the full season, and Pat Kelsey's really has, Pat Kelsey, if you give him a fully healthy roster, he's going to do a good job, but he hasn't had a full roster either this year or last year. Last year, Kashawn Pryor was hurt for a lot of the season, and Louisville's promising campaign was kind of cut short. This year it's been Brown who's been injured a lot. So, Louisville, South Florida seems like a game that's going to go down to the wire. But I wouldn't trust either Louisville or South Florida against Izzo in the second round. And the thing about Izzo, he's so good at the second game on a weekend. in the NCAA tournament. Like Izzo with the short turnaround, that's the specific thing that Izzo nails that a lot of other coaches don't. So I think Michigan State to the Sweet 16 out of that subsection.
For sure. And, just kind of like looking at UCLA, Central Florida, and UConn and Furman, that kind of rounds out the East region right there.
A lot of veteran coaches in that region.
Man.
Well, as someone who covers UCLA, Bilodeau's health is in question. Donovan Dent's health is in question. Injury bug hitting at exactly the wrong time for UCLA. So it's going to be hard to take anyone other than UConn out of that pod going to the Sweet 16.
But if UCLA does make it out of the first game against Central Florida, that's going to be a really fun game to watch, except for the refs. The refs are going to have an awful time in that Mick Cronin versus Dan Hurley. It's not going to be
watching both coaches lose it at each other, though.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be great.
Oh man, like Mick Cronin, he's just been crashing out a lot this season. Like,
yeah, everything. Not like they win by 20, he's mad. They lose by 20, he's just as mad. It doesn't matter. Like, I'd argue he's more mad when they're winning. It's very entertaining. I think UCF's an interesting team too, because Johnny Dawkins on the hot seat, and he, very quietly had a pretty good year, but I think they've been forgotten about.
Well, it's Death, Taxes, and Johnny Dawkins on the hot seat every season, it feels like.
Pretty much.
Man. And for me, I'll go with UCLA on that one.
I would lean Bruins, I would.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The thing is, Donovan Dent was a bust through early February, and then the past 3-4 weeks, he's finally looked like the player UCLA thought and hoped it was getting all along.
I mean, if he can be the player that New Mexico got,
I don't know if he's going to be healthy.
Yeah, I mean, if he can be the player that New Mexico had in the tournament last year, the Bruins are going to be feeling good about their chances. But
yes,
that's the question. Will he be healthy?
Yes. The only thing that stinks with Dent is he's not a good free throw shooter. Like, he's really good at assists. He's a good scorer, but he only shoots 62% at the line. So he is a liability late in games when he's handling the ball and he gets fouled. He's not like you got to give the ball to Trent Perry, because Trent Perry's a much better free throw shooter. But I've seen multiple games where Dent's free throws have affected them negatively. So I think that's kind of a major problem for them.
Well, just basically make sure Dent is shooting free throws, and you'll be good to go against them. Here we go. And UConn, they should defeat Furman. They're good to go there. But the East region, that is just going to be a wild ride, because you got John Shire, Jamie Ditson, Rip Pitino, Bill Self, Pat Kelsey, Tom Izzo, and Coach Hurley himself.
The only thing I'm worried about is, like, I'm leaning on picking South Florida to win. Will Brian Hodgson be focused? Because I know Syracuse is calling him, Providence is calling him.
Lots of suiters. Yep. Yeah. Absolutely.
I mean, those places aren't looking that viable right now. Like, Cuse could be, but they got to up that NIL. They're not in good shape.
Oh, you should have seen like the conversation Jeffrey and I were having about like Georgetown, DePaul, and Butler, where it's like Butler hasn't been looking to, like, the last time they went to March Madness was before Disney Plus was founded.
Yeah, it was before NIL.
Oh man, like before Disney Plus and before NIL, and then you got DePaul doing better to Georgetown, it seems. Although Georgetown beat them in the Big East tournament, but DePaul's increased their win total in conference play, and Ed Cooley at Georgetown's thinking, what was I thinking leaving Providence? I could have been a legend there. But
yeah, but Georgetown was alluring. Like, it's hard to fault Cooley for not going for that job when it was there. You mentioned Butler, Thad Matta retiring. So that gives Butler a chance to hit the reset button.
Now, as an Irish fan,
I'm really happy with the Celtics.
I'm really hoping Micah Shrewsbury chooses to leave and goes from one hot seat to a fresh seat, goes down from South Bend to Indianapolis, and goes to Butler.
Oh, Butler.
Travel far. Yeah, that would be interesting. Hit the reset button. And you talked about Mick Cronin earlier. He probably stays at UCLA, but you know what? Bruin fans would love it if he went back to Cincinnati.
Or here's another one.
They loathe Steve Alford as well, man.
Oh,
They absolutely hated him. Yes.
oh,
I mean,
here's
Cronin at least
another
made
one.
the Final Four, but Alford was the pits. Yeah, he was reviled there.
What if, hear me out, what if Butler decided to bring back Chris Holtman to Butler? Like, get out of DePaul, come back to Butler.
I don't know about.
I feel like DePaul's perfect, man. He wins 16 games and he's safe. Like, it's
I'm
Yeah.
with I'm with you there.
Pretty
Jeff.
good gig. Yeah. And I'm like, he's gonna get endless time to make it work. Yep.
For sure.
So I think Holtman's happy there. But it gives Butler a really interesting opportunity to start fresh.
If he gets DePaul to March Madness next year, he's gonna get a lot of phone calls.
I ain't gonna lie though, if Brad Stevens went to Butler, Indiana fans would lose it. They already lost to a Dusty May, but
Dusty May,
yeah, really gonna lose it, man.
Oh,
Like it's
tonight. Yep.
Well,
not that it's likely, but oh man, if it did happen, yes.
Oh yeah, like Brad Stevens, kind of like, no, I'm not going for that stress again. I'm happy in Boston.
Yeah, and the way things are going, why would he want to leave? Like that's a great deal.
And they won without Tatum. I thought they were gonna struggle, but they were winning great without him. And so yeah, he's got it made. He's got it made at Boston.
All right, so let's go back to the East. So one of the big stories here is that Duke's the #1 overall seed, but did not get the easiest bracket. You know, if you're the #1 overall seed, you figure that you're going to get an easier path. So Duke did not. And I think the interesting question for everybody here is, whom would Duke rather face in the Sweet 16? Pitino or Self, St. John's or Kansas? What does everybody think?
I think at this stage of the game, St. John's is playing better than Kansas. So I mean, I think you would rather face Kansas. I know it's Bill Self, I know, but I think you would rather face Kansas than St. John's because to me they're a tougher route.
The whole Darren Peterson situation is just weird.
Yeah, I still don't know how. I know he's talented in high school tape and he has his moments, he flashes, but how is he the #1 guy? Like you got A-Cup balling out. DeBonce has been amazing. You know, some of these guys.
DeBonce will be #1 because of the antics.
Should not be #1 in my mind. I don't think he should.
Well, will be #1. I think.
Oh yeah. If I'm Duke personally, I would much rather face Kansas than St. John's.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean it's. I would not want to go up against Rick Pitino and the St. John's Red Storm, like especially after doing all right, like for a second straight year, just smacking it. Well, doing all right in the Big East tournament.
Plus, they had an easier ride in the Big East. Like I feel like the Big East teams, they're not as wore out right now. Like St. John's and UConn, they're like you're not as wore out as a team that went through the gauntlet of the Big 12. No, you're not as wore out. Like those weren't as tough of games. Like a lot of times, St. John's and UConn, you're just beating up Creighton and UConn did in that one game, but Creighton and DePaul and all those type of teams, Providence, Butler, right? They're not very good, right? So I think that they had an easier path. I think like St. John's is they're fired up, and it's Rick Pitino. He's one of those guys that he's going to have a run in him. So I think St. John's is going to be one of the tougher routes this tournament.
Oh man, but yeah, any one of these teams. Between Duke and Michigan State, UConn could definitely make it out of the East alive.
It is interesting though that they did get a tougher path because, like, what's the point of the #1 overall seed? What is the point?
I mean, I guess home court advantage. I guess in DC,
it's kind of like how people said Indiana football had the tough path with Alabama, right? But then it didn't matter. But the #1 seed, like lately, and just it's not getting it made easier, at least theoretically. So, because I mean, like I think you'd rather play even a Prairie View A&M, no offense to them, or something to that effect, than a Siena. I think, but
I know that St. John seems to be doing all right, but it's just something keeps nagging at me. 5 versus 12, and you got Northern Iowa as a 12 seed, and I know like Northern Iowa has put in some March Madness magic over the past several years. Anytime they've been
2010s,
in,
they were fun, man.
can they bring it back? Can they bring that March Madness magic back is the question.
Well, Northern Iowa had some players injured earlier in the season, and so they're at their healthiest, and they maxed out in Arch Madness. I mean, Northern Iowa, Ben Jacobson, he's a defense-first coach. They scored 84 points in the Arch Madness championship game. Like, if Northern Iowa is hitting threes, that becomes a very, very, very difficult game for St. John's. But like you would think that St. John's can take that away. But if Northern Iowa has a good shooting day, that's going to be a really hard game for the Johnnies to win. It's not a cakewalk.
For sure. And Louisville.
Pull up these Caden comments real quick, Jackson, if you don't mind.
Oh, these super chats. Oh man.
Oh man.
Yeah, this is like a running gag they does anytime on the Alabama call-in show and on Only Talk Sports, where for the $5 super chat, Caden the Diesel Freak says, "Oh, this is going to be fun. The most hated Ohio State fan is in the house, and I'm going to enjoy schooling these punts." Okay. And for another $5 super chat, he says, "I'm crashing the show unapologetically, and I got a big spoiler alert for you. Ohio State is winning the tournament." Okay.
You gotta love the confidence. You gotta love the confidence.
All I gotta say is put your bread up, Cade. Put your bread up on that. But
I don't think he is. I wouldn't.
All right, let's take a look at the next region.
Let's do it.
Well, first off, pick East Region pick. So I'm not. I just find it hard to pick against Duke because UConn's not playing its best, Michigan State's not playing its best, and St. John's did not do anything out of conference this season. So I just don't trust any of the other teams, even with Duke's injuries and roster limitations.
I'm leaning Duke.
I have Duke.
Yeah, for me, I think I'll go with UConn out of the East region. I think they can get it done for the East region, and it just I can't quite put my finger on it, but something tells me we could see another national title for UConn again.
Yeah, I don't want to go Duke because those injuries. I think St. John's has a really good shot, but I am worried that like offensively they could have a problem in a tougher game. So I would lean Duke, I guess. Again, not making complete picks until tomorrow. I'll have rationale and explanations for that tomorrow, but I think I would have to go with Duke as of right now.
Lil, who's your pick out of the East?
I'm leaning Duke, but
You don't sound happy about it.
I think Duke, but I'm not convinced by Duke.
That's why I went UConn. But let's go to the South region, shall we? So the big storyline, I know everybody's wanting to see whether Florida could repeat or not as national champs. But can Nebraska get their first win in NCAA tourney history in college basketball?
So glad that you focused on that, Jackson. Like if you were to say, what's the most important and nationally significant first round game of all of them, it is this one for precisely that reason. It is the biggest story just in the first round. And, I cover USC, of course. Troy and USC played a triple overtime game earlier this season. Troy won at San Diego State earlier this season. Troy's good. So this is no sure thing for Nebraska, but it's still like, if you can't do it now, Fred Hoiberg, when are you ever going to do it?
Yeah, this is as good of an opportunity as you can get. I mean, they were a really good team. Like they started out undefeated all that time, but then eventually, lost some games, but still a great year. I mean, it reminds you of like, Indiana hadn't won a bowl game in 33 years before beating Alabama in the Rose Bowl. It's like, I mean, think about like you go 33 years without a bowl win, and then you beat Alabama 38-3 in the Rose Bowl. So it's like, how did that happen? This feels like that. Like Nebraska basketball and Indiana football are on the same upward trajectory. And then there are other programs that are historic or trash right now. So it's like, it's weird. I mean, Nebraska and Indiana just feel like parallels in the opposite sports. They really do. But I would love to see Nebraska make a little run here. It would be cool because, it's cool to see Indiana do it in football. I'd love to see Nebraska basketball do it.
I want to see the Nebraska Cornhuskers make a run, but I love that they are like one of the last unbeaten teams in college basketball, but that sit stretch to end the season is just nagging at me.
Mhm.
And this could scream upset alert for me.
Mhm.
Troy, it would not
None of
surprise
the
me
games
if
they
Troy
lost were really bad, but I know what you mean. I mean, it kind of like lowered like the ceiling of what we thought the team is and could do. But I still feel like Nebraska's really good though.
Mhm.
You know, I don't know. Troy is a good team. I mean, the 4-13, like 5-12, 4-13 matchups. The upsets are most common among those anyway.
Mhm.
It wouldn't shock me if Troy won here. I mean, even 11%, the percentage there, so 11% picking Troy. So it's not like people don't think this could happen. But Nebraska, I mean, you just hope that they be fired up, man. Like you know they want to win. You know that they want to get it done. So they know what's at stake.
Mhm.
Matt, what do you think about this game?
Yeah, I think it's just too important for Nebraska for the Huskers to not give a maximum effort. Like I don't think Nebraska is going to get caught, looking ahead to Vanderbilt because this is it. Win this first NCAA tournament game. So I think you're going to see a very alert, focused effort from Nebraska, and that's going to be good enough to win. So I think the real question is, can Nebraska win 2 games? And get to the Sweet 16, and I think the draw is just not kind. Vanderbilt being a 5,
Vanderbilt should have been a 4.
undefeated. Vanderbilt should have been a 4, and I love Mark Byington. I have bought into Byington. Just a tremendous hire from James Madison. So
those James Madison coaches are good, man.
Like
UCLA football
Indiana.
believes.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's right. So I love Byington, and when you see Vanderbilt destroy Florida the way it did in the SEC tournament, I mean Vanderbilt's trending upward. So I like Vanderbilt over Nebraska, but the main thing for Nebraska, just get that first win against Troy. That's the main thing.
And I mean, Vanderbilt, I followed DC high school basketball pretty close. And I mean, he's getting Anthony Brown and Ethan Mbako, like 2 of the best players from the area, to go to Vanderbilt. So they're going to keep that train rolling.
Hey, Vanderbilt, they've upped their NIL. They're doing good. They want to win now. Like football team's better, basketball team's a lot better, but you got to make the right hires too. When you make the right hire, and then most importantly, you've got to keep them. You got to keep them in town. So I definitely like Vandy's basketball team. I mean, I was pulling for them to beat Florida. I was like, man, and I was hoping they'd the whole thing. I was hoping they'd win the championship game, but Cal got them. He down there. So, but yeah, Vandy's a good team.
Well, we got Vandy McNeese State. That should be
McNeese is interesting, man. I mean, they've been dangerous before. So.
Oh yeah,
and it's impressive that Will Wade leaves, and yet the McNeese train keeps rolling like that. That's a identifier of a good program. It's kind of like Utah State. It's just the conveyor belt. Guys leave for power conference jobs. Another coach comes in every 1 to 2 years. They keep winning like that. That is, a really stable, successful program.
Hey, Utah State's been unreal. Like you just think like one of them's not going to hit. Like 1 year they're just not going to be good, and like every year they're just it's almost better than the last year. It's weird.
It's crazy. And the coaches last just 2 years because they're hopping on the next the train up the totem pole, and they just it's amazing.
Ron Odom is the crazy one. My goodness, like that guy's just having success everywhere.
Yeah,
crushing it, absolutely crushing it.
Oh man, like Virginia's following the rule of if you can't beat them, hire them. That's the way to go. But yeah, like Vanderbilt, like you guys said, they're an incredible story, and McNeese State, they're going to be an interesting story as well. And North Carolina VCU,
I love that game.
I
love that game.
Yeah,
I wish Caleb was
on the board.
playing.
Yep.
Oh man, like North Carolina VCU, can VCU get this one?
If Bell and Djokovic can handle that guy Vassar, is that his name? Vassar. If they can handle him inside, I'm liking the Rams' chances, but they just can't. Like Djokovic can't get in foul trouble again, and Bell needs to play as well as he did.
Well, Carolina needs production from their backcourt. You need Tremble and Dixon and Bogovac to have good games. Those guys, when Carolina's been at their best, whether they've had Caleb Wilson or not, or even when Vasar was out for brief, when the guards have been good, Carolina's been a good team, but they're not consistent. Like, there's games where, Dixon and Bogovac don't even score. They don't do anything, and like Tremble had that stretch there where he was putting up 25, 30 points and was looking like a, all first team ACC type of guard, but it's not consistent. I think if Carolina gets at least 30 points from those 30 to 35 points, they have a shot. But if they don't, then VCU is going to win this game. Carolina has to get production from the guards positions. Has to.
Agree, and that's no sure thing. And without Caleb Wilson, it's just much more of an uphill battle. And I would just say, we look at seeds. Seeds can reflect the body of work during the season, but they might not reflect the quality of the roster as is with injuries. Like BYU's another example. BYU, like North Carolina, seeded number 6, but really kind of an 8 or a 9 seed in terms of actual roster quality, given who's healthy and who's not. So like it's a 6-11 game, but to me, this could be an 8-9 game in terms of seeding, in terms of measuring the quality of the teams right now.
And that makes an upset feel a lot more probable.
Yes.
It just,
yes.
I hate to say it because North Carolina is one of my favorite teams. I'm not even going to make a picker. I'll wait till tomorrow on this one, but I'm not confident in the Tar Heels.
The suspense is building.
This is a Will versus Jeffrey game. So
we got to tell the cashiers at Publix about this one for sure.
You pull up the last comment from Caden Jackson. He's got another.
Super that last super chat. Yeah, I know, right, Matt? This is another $5 super chat from Caden Disford where he says, Jackson Johnson, don't write with your mouth that you can't cash. Little boy, roll Buckeyes, roll.
Now, Matt, Yale didn't follow one of your golden rules in the Ivy League championship game. They did not foul up 3. They let him that 10 guard shoot it, and he made it.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's simple math, right? If you can prevent him from shooting it, why wouldn't you? So. But Fran McCaffrey becomes the latest coach to take 5 schools to the NCAA tournament. UNC Greensboro, Siena, Iowa, Penn. I'm forgetting the other one, but he's taken 5. So that puts him in a very select group. Like Lon Kruger's done it. 1 or 2 others have done it. It's a small club.
Patino's done it with Providence, Kentucky, Louisville, Iona, and St. John's.
Yep.
I just want to see the FranCon meter again, man. Like, I just want to see him losing it. Like, that's one of my favorite things about Fran McCaffrey is, like, amount of times, especially when he was at Iowa, man, he just got so mad at the refs or whatever. Like, that one where he was just staring down the ref for like a minute and a half. I'm like, man, like, he didn't even get a tag. He's just standing there. But it was so funny. But yeah, that is very impressive. I will say, though, on the other side with Illinois, you got to at least make the Sweet 16, Brad Underwood. You got to make the Sweet 16. This is setting up perfectly for you to make the Sweet 16. If they don't.
This is another team. Illinois is another team that usually does not do so well in March Madness.
Now, if the Rams beat Carolina and they face Illinois, they can get revenge against Brad Underwood from when he was at Stephen F. Austin.
Ooh.
So that would be sweet for the Rams.
Odds everywhere, man.
VCU, Illinois in the round of 32.
Still no excuse for Illinois in that game. Like, I know VCU is a solid team. They came on strong late, but like if you're Illinois, that's about as good a path to a Sweet 16 as you can get. No excuse at all for Brad Underwood. Like, that would be 100%. Anything less would be disappointing. I will say another game I like is that St. Mary's Texas A&M game.
Yeah, Randy Bennett.
St. Mary's and Texas A&M.
I like that one. That's a 50-50 game right there.
Yeah, contrast in styles, but I think Texas A&M's limitations were exposed in the SEC, and I think Randy Bennett's a good enough defensive tactician that St. Mary's can play this game in the mud and slow the pace down and get the kind of game it wants. So I'm going to lean St. Mary's here.
Right there with you. St. Mary's all the way over the A&M Aggies.
So do you guys think that Houston can get their revenge against Florida?
It's in Houston. Like that's the big thing about that game. It's in Houston.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's why I'm bullish on Houston in the South, because the regionals, Houston versus Illinois, Sweet 16, Houston versus Florida, Elite 8, it's in Houston. And if it is Florida versus Houston, like Houston just has a natural motivational edge after what happened in April in San Antonio last year. So I think it just if the regionals were in New Orleans or Birmingham, I wouldn't feel the same way, but it's in Houston. That's just really hard to go against. Houston in 2022, Houston played the regionals in San Antonio, beat Arizona. Arizona was a number 1 seed. Now Houston didn't beat Villanova in the Elite 8, but still was able to take down a number 1 seed playing very close to home. So, yeah, I think this lines up well for Houston just because of the regional site.
Mm-hmm.
Florida's a weird team too because of the fact that like they started out rough a little bit. Like Florida fans were going crazy. Xavier Lee wasn't really panning out too good early on, and then they just started getting rolling, winning like 12 in a row at the end of the season. And then they didn't look that good in the SEC tournament. I'm just like, did they care enough? Were they even trying? Because I feel like even like Duke against Florida State, like some of these teams at the top, Michigan lost. Did Michigan? Yeah, Michigan lost to Purdue. Yeah.
Purdue.
So you think about like some of these team seeds in the tournaments, they weren't doing that great. Did they care enough? So is that an indictment against Florida? Because I feel like some people are starting to like fade on Florida now, and I'm like, Florida was great there for that 12-game stretch, but then again in the tournament just didn't look great. I wonder if the motivation was there in the tournament. I don't think it was.
Yeah. What did Florida have to prove? You've been wailing on the SEC for a couple months. Like, okay, so you win a few more extra games. Yeah. We remember like Rick Pitino's teams at Kentucky, John Calipari's teams as well. They didn't care about the SEC tournament when they had the really loaded teams like that. They didn't care. And if anything, like losing in the conference tournament was kind of a palate cleanser. Like I think Cal and Pitino both secretly loved the fact that they didn't win their conference tournaments, so that they had something to motivate their teams before they went on those title runs in 96 and 2012. I feel similarly about Florida, but I think in a matchup against Houston, that's where Florida's backcourt limitations could be exposed. Like Houston has some ballers in the backcourt, and I think that Florida's backcourt can be taken down to the extent that Florida's front court advantage, will be negated. So it's going to be really interesting.
And I'm like an Iowa on that 8-9 game.
Yeah, that game's like the battle of the fading teams. Like both teams kind of crumbled down the stretch. I remember when Iowa lost to Maryland, I'm like, okay, like you do realize Maryland's bad, right? Iowa, like what are you
Shout
doing?
out to Corey Brada at Iowa The Voice College Football from the Hawkeye of the Storm, and a big shout out to Riley Donald and friends at Hawkeye's Wire.
I just don't trust Iowa. Like I know they got a different coach. Like Fran McCaffrey's gone. You got a different coach, so it's a clean slate. But like besides Bennett Sturts, they're not good. They're not a very good team. Like they peaked when they beat like Indiana in Assembly Hall by like 20 earlier in the year, and like they had that really good stretch there. I mean, like after that, they just started kind of falling apart. Clemson, I mean, Brad Brownell has at least taken some Clemson teams, a little bit of the tournament. Like I know he's not a legendary coach. He isn't up to that degree, but he's at least won some games. Like I kind of would almost trust him more than Iowa, but I can see why he would go Iowa will, because both teams, I don't trust them at all.
Yeah, I mean, I trust Ben McCollum more than. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I should trust Brad Brunell more.
Brad Brunell's tenure at Clemson is longer than regular show on Cartoon Network. Let that sink in for a moment.
Oh, it's a lot longer.
That was classic. Love that show.
Is it longer? Is it longer than Rugrats? I think it's longer than Rugrats.
No, it's not that long.
No, it's not. All right, let's get Matt's on a
The
time
original
crunch, so let's get to the next
Yeah,
region.
yeah. So we're gonna do like a little fastest 3 minutes, but in this case, a fastest 14 minutes for Matt. We'll start with Matt. Who do you think will represent the South?
Houston, because of it'll be playing home games in the Sweet 16 and Elite 8. I think that's going to be the difference.
I'm going Houston.
Matt talked me into it. I'm going with Houston.
Yeah.
Sure. I always want to go Florida, but sure. Well, we'll just have the whole panel be wrong, right?
Right.
I don't think it works like that, but we'll wait and see. All righty, we've got the West region: Arizona, Arkansas, the Gonzaga Bulldogs, the BYU Cougars, the Purdue Boilermakers, the Miami Hurricanes. Is this
Missouri
year
is such a bipolar team, man.
The question is, and I believe this is the biggest question out of the West region: can Arizona finally make that breakthrough to the final?
If they can't this year,
This gotta be the year, right?
Yeah.
You got to do it this time, Tommy Lloyd. You got to. Period.
Man.
And I like Utah State to be a fading Villanova in the first round.
Oh yeah.
See, the thing is, Utah State's the only Mountain West team in this tournament. So Utah State won a bad league. I think the benefit of the doubt goes with Villanova, or at least the burden of proof is with Utah State. Utah State needs to prove to me it can win a game like this.
Mm-hmm.
Man.
Plus, I mean, like Villanova, I mean, they were clearly the third best team in a weak Big East overall. Like, they separated themselves from Seton Hall. They separated themselves from the bubble. And even though they couldn't beat St. John's or UConn, they a couple times were competitive. Like they weren't bad. So, I mean, I think Villanova's better than Utah State by a little
Well,
bit.
I thought Georgetown performance was rough for Villanova. That's why, yeah. And
I mean, Utah State had their moments too. Like the problem with the Mountain West is like they couldn't figure out like when you're a mid-major league, you got to commit. The teams at the top got to commit. Like, hey, we're the good teams. Everyone else, you're gone. Let's beat up on you and let's get our 3 or 4 teams in. The problem was you had your Grand Canyons and your Nevadas and your UNLVs and your Colorado States that kept getting upsets against those teams like New Mexico and San Diego State and even Utah State at times. That's what hurt the league. Like the overall league wasn't horrible. Even Boise State had a couple big wins there. The whole league wasn't bad. It's just all those teams in the middle kept knocking off the teams at the top. Didn't create any separation. In past Mountain West years, the teams at the top clearly gained separation, and that's why they were able to get 3 or 4 in the tournament. This year they didn't.
Do you guys think that Wisconsin will get upset again, or do you think that
I don't know, man. Wisconsin looked really good down the stretch. Like they were playing very like the last time that they didn't look good was when they lost at Indiana in the controversial ending. Or after that game, Wisconsin was on a holy tear.
Okay, so
they were a quad win for teams for a while. Like they were clearly quad one. They were really good down the stretch.
Ooh, this little stat has me really thinking about Wisconsin. 10th in the nation in free throw percentage. Wow, that's going to be key right there.
Well, the big thing with Wisconsin, like Boyd, Blackwell, like their backcourt is on fire, and that's just going to be really hard to go against. I think one of the big stories in this section, Arkansas, let's talk about Arkansas for a bit. Arkansas won the SEC tournament, and of course we all know the SEC tournament has a Sunday final. Most conference tournaments have a Saturday final. Usually the selection committee will take a Sunday team and give it a Friday-Sunday bracket so that there's more time for the turnaround, for rest, recuperation, travel. Arkansas, having played on Sunday, winning the SEC tournament, not only gets a Thursday-Saturday bracket, but has to go all the way to Portland and has to play a day game on Thursday. Like Arkansas's logistical situation is just about as brutal as for any team on the first week of the NCAA tournament. So, it's going to be, and Darius Acuff, he averaged 39 minutes a game in the SEC tournament. He's going to be exhausted. So I have Wisconsin beating Arkansas in the round of 32 to get to the Sweet 16 because I think Arkansas is just going to run out of steam Arkansas needed a Friday, Sunday. Arkansas deserved a closer commute travel situation. This situation, Arkansas, it's going to catch up with Arkansas before the weekend's over in Portland.
Yeah, I mean, it also feels like Wisconsin's to me. This is not a 1-to-1 comparison, but they're the better version of Ohio State because Boyd and Blackwell are better than Mobley and Thornton. No offense to those guys because they're good. Thornton and Mobley are good, but Boyd and Blackwell are fantastic. I mean, Boyd he sometimes just catches fire. He can't miss for a while. So, I mean, definitely teams like that, it's hard to trust them because if they're off, they're really off. But yeah, that's a good point. I mean, the thing is, Calipari's had a lot of great tournament runs, but he's also had a lot of disappointing tournament runs too, and none more exemplified than losing to Oakland and his final year at Kentucky. I don't know if Hawaii is Oakland material. I don't know if they got a Jack
or St. Peter's, also St. Peter's
or St. Peter's. But yeah, I mean that game, even though he got fired after the Oakland game, that St. Peter's game really that hurt. That really hurt. But I don't know. I think you make a good point on that. Like I was leaning toward Arkansas going further than that, but I don't know. Now I'm not so sure.
Mm-hmm. Now I like that first 4 team to beat BYU. BYU's been just injured and fading. I think whoever
100%, 100%. BYU's like a 6 seed, but playing like a 9.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because like last season has been one of the few it's basically been the only season basically since the first 4 started, with the exception of 2019, where a first 4 team has not won a March Madness game. Like, it's crazy. Like 2019 and 2025 have been the only 2 years where a first 4 team has not won a March Madness game. I think this year we go back to seeing a first 4 team winning a March Madness game, leaning towards North Carolina State over Texas. And I think they could beat BYU. But Gonzaga is going to have a fun time with that Wolfpack.
Every time Texas is on the bubble, just pencil them that they're in. Just go in and pencil them that they're in, man. Yeah, I'm just like, I know the bubble was bad, but like, did you see Texas's quad 1-3 record? It was like 12-14 or something, 12-15. It was terrible. Like they weren't great. I mean, I don't know. They were not a great team, but I mean, the first 4 out. I mean, honestly, the only team honestly in the first 4 out or like a Texas or SMU would probably have been Oklahoma. The way that they played at the end, they even beat Texas. They beat Texas. And then they had all those wins of the SEC tournament. That I could have argued for them, but no Auburn, no Indiana, no San Diego State. I mean, man. I mean, I didn't agree with anybody else. But I mean, Texas again, you had to put somebody in. But Texas last year, all they had was Trey Johnson. That was their entire team. Like they weren't a good team last year. I don't think they were a good team this year. I don't know. I agree with the NC State pick. I agree with that.
Well, just
so what are you guys thinking for this region?
For me, I
gotta go with Arizona this time.
Yeah.
I want to believe
it better be Arizona.
But it's gotta be Arizona.
Gotta be Arizona.
I think Wile E. Coyote falls off the cliff once again, trying to chase the Roadrunner.
Are you gonna go Purdue?
No, I'm not going with Purdue. But I think I'm gonna go with Gonzaga.
Gonzaga does have that injury with Huff, though. But
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, plus I watched them against St. Mary's, and I know St. Mary's knows how to beat them, like especially in Moraga. They have that down to an art almost at this point. But Gonzaga looked bad in that game, and they had the loss to Portland. I know outlier, but like everybody can lose a bad team. But like past Gonzaga teams didn't lose to a team like Portland, you know. So I don't know. I think Gonzaga is really good, but I don't think they're elite.
Oh yeah. Matt, right. did you pick your region winner out of this?
Yeah, Arizona.
It has to be Arizona.
Oh, man.
If Arizona doesn't
win, I hope it works out for you, man. I hope it works out for you and Jeffrey. But
that's what the Ohio State said. That is hilarious.
It's like trying to set a trap for the Roadrunner. But let's go to the Midwest region in the fastest 4 minutes. The Michigan Wolverines, the Georgia Bulldogs, Texas Tech Red Raiders, Alabama without Holloway, how bad does it affect them? Alabama looks like a boom or bust team, or they could make a surprising run, or they could get out early. Who knows with the Alabama Crimson Tide? And you got Ryan Odom and the Virginia Cavaliers against Wright State. The winner of Miami, Ohio, SMU against the Tennessee Volunteers. Who needs Miami, Ohio versus Tennessee when you could get Miami, Ohio versus Tennessee? And Santa Clara goes against Kentucky, as Kentucky could go down or they could win this one. And you got Iowa State looking to make a possible run out of the Midwest.
I feel like that's a good matchup for Kentucky. It's nothing against Santa Clara, but like Kentucky did not perform very well down the stretch of the season. And that just feels like a very winnable game to me. I think they could beat Santa Clara.
I mean, Santa Clara does have the size, though, but Kentucky is going to need
Santa Clara.
If Oway does well, Kentucky could still win.
I think Santa Clara only got in because of the fact they beat St. Mary's twice and because the bubble was bad. I mean, and they didn't even get in the first four. They got a 10 seed. That's how bad the bubble was. It's nothing against Santa Clara, but the WCC like rarely ever got 3 teams in. Rarely.
Man, the whole West Coast Conference without Gonzaga this season, aside from St. Mary's, is going to feel like Jack Lemmon and everybody else in Glengarry Glen Ross. Like everybody.
St. Mary's needs to join Gonzaga. They need to follow Gonzaga.
I agree.
Oh, yeah. It's just kind of like looking at it.
Question.
Oh, yeah. No questions asked. Sorry about that. Oh, man. Like the Midwest, just kind of like looking at it. What do you think, guys?
Well, so Michigan's not fully healthy, but then Texas Tech isn't fully healthy. Alabama isn't going to have a full roster. So I think Michigan is getting a break in that the teams that could threaten it are not at full strength. So I think Michigan definitely gets to the Elite Eight. And I would say Iowa State probably over Virginia because I think the Big 12 is clearly a better basketball conference than the ACC. So I think, Michigan, Iowa State in Chicago, man, there's going to be a lot of beer and sausage consumed in that one.
Ooh, that's going to be a big
That's a good game if that happens. I mean, I'm tempted to go Iowa State out of that region, like very, very tempted. Because, I mean, they played very well. But, I mean, they had their moments, too, where the Big 12, like all those teams had their moments where they didn't really play that good. Like I think it was the gauntlet. Like you just kind of went through like a little rough patch. But I mean, Iowa State, man, and Hilton, oof, I mean that is they're just dangerous. But the NCAA's not played in Hilton, just like all these other teams that we talk about their home field or home court advantage. So I don't know. Michigan probably wins that one. I mean, I hate to be so generic and just keep picking all these 1 seeds. I really don't. But
here's the thing. Here's the thing. Like last year, it looked like a chalky tournament. It was. All 4 number 1 seeds went to the Final Four. You look at the bracket on Selection Sunday every year. Some years you look at the bracket and you say, oh, this is going to be chaos. Like this is going to spin in all sorts of directions. But last year, and I think this year too, it's just a different dynamic in college basketball that, the 4 seeds, the 5 seeds, those mid-level seeds, they just aren't threatening the way they were in previous seasons. So, it might seem boring to pick the chalk, but like last year, it was very successful. And I think that's another big national story. We should prepare for another very chalky NCAA tournament.
All right, can we get your Final Four and your Final Four picks, Matt? Then you can go have your dinner with your fam.
Sure. So I do have Michigan coming out of the Midwest. And so Arizona over Michigan in one national semifinal, Duke over Houston. Like if it's Duke Houston in the semis, like Duke, it's going to be super motivated to not blow it as it did last year. And so Arizona hasn't made the Final Four since 2001. In 2001, what was the title game? Arizona Duke in Minneapolis. Arizona over Duke. Arizona, I think, has been the best team in college basketball this season. So I think that's how it's going to end.
Oh, there we go. Well, Matt,
appreciate your time, man. We're praying for you. Everything worked out.
Great fun. Jeffrey, good to talk to you.
Absolutely. It's great time.
Tell your friends, your family, and the cashiers a post about the magic that Matt has on Matt Zemek on @/Twitter, where he not only brings his top-notch takes in the sports world, but also in other aspects of the world as well. But also check him out on Trojans Wire at USA Today, on @/Twitter, and at TrojansWire.com, and on USC at the Voice College Football with Crashlet Collier and Ethan Inman. And Nolan is it.
Thank you, everybody.
Have a great night, Matt. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Matt. Do we want to keep talking?
Well, maybe a little bit longer. We do got to pull up. Caden's got another comment. Another super chat.
Oh man, well, Caden could come in and give us heck on Thursday night, but he said
happy 316 day, and Jeffrey owes to let me join the show. Jeffrey, pay up, son. Okay. Do appreciate.
I think y'all like the same age, so it's kind of weird you calling Jeffrey son, but
yeah, I don't know. He called you a little boy. I mean, that's even worse.
Yeah, I know, right? It's like I'm
dude,
like
you're almost 30. I mean, you're like Mordecai and Rigby, man. Like you're in your 20s, man. Like
I know, right? It's like I'll be like 29 on September 30th. So there you go. It's like
time flies, man.
Time flies.
3-0 soon, man. Oof,
man, it's just wolf. But you know, it's just like interesting to see what's gonna happen with everybody in the world of college basketball. But you know, for me, out of that last region, I want to pick Alabama to win the Midwest region so bad. I want to pick Bama, but I'm just not seeing it right now. I'm just not seeing it. I'm leaning towards Michigan, Virginia, or Iowa State, and I'm just kind of flipping that coin, and the coin leads to Michigan.
Yeah. It kind of feels like that. I mean, I'm going to fully make my predictions tomorrow, but, you know, all the way, like every game, I'm going to make a pick, and I'll make a bracket. But, yeah, I think for now, like Michigan, I mean, yeah, injuries and stuff, but I agree with Matt. I mean, it feels like we talked all year, the teams at the top are just better than everybody else. And it just feels like that's going to reign true in the tournament, you know?
Yeah. But, you know, we didn't talk a lot about like Miami, Ohio, SMU, like that first 4 game. That's going to be a fun one right there.
The fact they made the first 4 instead of like in the field, like shows you that they really did not want to put them in. Like, yeah, you heard.
Oh, it's making Jeffrey's internet crash out for a bit.
The conversation with.
Oh man, the internet.
I think I cut out for a minute. Sorry.
Yep.
Well, I was saying I saw the conversation with the committee guy, and it was so funny because he said something to the nature of, yeah, they were our last team in the field, but we actually seeded them as the first team in the first 4, and SMU was the last team. Like he had to like flip what he was saying. So basically, they barely got in. They barely got in. If they had lost any game in the regular season and then lost in their conference tournament, they wouldn't have got in.
True. I mean, like it's
the thing is, think about this though. I mean, I'm not trying to sway your opinion of whoever you're going to pick because I haven't made a pick either. But the thing is, Miami, Ohio hasn't beaten a team of SMU's caliber once.
I just can't trust them.
They haven't played anybody of SMU's caliber at all. I mean, that's the thing. Like, I love the story. I think the Miami, Ohio story is great and stuff, but they haven't played anybody. Like, people keep getting mad when people say that, but it's legitimate. Have you seen their strength of schedule? Their non-conference strength of schedule is like 349, and their entire strength of schedule is like 270.
You know what 2026 Miami, Ohio feels like to me? It feels like 2012 Murray State. I don't know why, but it's just that's what it feels like. Where they don't make it to the second weekend.
I just think SMU is a better team.
Well, either way, Tennessee's going to get smacked. They're going to get smacked out because Rick Barnes sucks. He sucks.
He's won a tournament game or two before.
I hope Virginia. I mean, I usually don't root for Virginia, but I hope they beat Tennessee.
Troy V says, isn't that what they said about Indiana football in 2024? They haven't played anyone. Well, there's a difference. Indiana football was actually good even that year, and they still lost to Notre Dame by 10. Should have lost by more, probably. Yeah. Miami, Ohio hasn't played anybody at all. Like nobody.
I do think Akron's a good team, but
they have one quad one win, and that's Akron. That's it.
I mean, I know
quad
it
two.
wouldn't
Quad two.
happen.
They play one quad 2 game and they beat Akron. They haven't played a quad 1 game. I don't know, man. I just think
I know it would never happen.
Miami, Ohio is not good enough.
But what if Akron, Miami, Ohio was the Elite Eight game? How crazy would that be? That'd be enough for an alcoholic to pour alcohol out of their beer. Just be like,
that might be crazier. I can't say it's crazier than Indiana winning the national title in football because I still think that's crazier. But Akron, Miami, Ohio in the Elite Eight would be like right up there. That should not happen. 1 Cinderella maybe, but 2 going that far.
Oh man, man, it's just gonna be a
spammed, Jackson. You getting spammed?
Well, apparently I'm getting called on my phone.
Yeah, spam call.
Yeah, so it's like I'll test it out Thursday night. So
he said that he's banned and can't come on the show. I'm like, okay.
Well, you're not banned on here, so it's like, I mean, we're all.
That's why he wants on, but like, hey, dude, like we're having a
we're
March
all
Madness
StreamYard, so it's like, oh man, but yeah, like the Midwest region, that's gonna be a fun ride. But yeah, we can go over a little bit about like some of the latest stories, like Thad Matta retiring, like because we touched a bit on that, but
I mean, Thad Matta had a good career at Ohio. I mean, at Ohio State, he was good. He made the Final Four.
I mean, I feel like his legacy would have been better if he had have just quit. It's kind of like Belichick, his legacy, tarnished Carolina and Jordan Hudson and no longer Brady, and he can't win without Brady and all that kind of stuff. But the thing is Belichick's still a Hall of Famer. I mean, but he's always going to have that little bit legacy. It's kind of ruined. Same thing here. It's like Thad Matta. He was fantastic at Ohio State. Aaron Kraft, those years, success. He was winning.
Greg Oden.
Greg Oden, Solinger, all that stuff. Like they were good teams. And, I think it's sad that like his health, he had health stuff and everything, but then he tried to come back. He also was at Indiana for brief. He was trying to consult Mike Woodson or whatever. That didn't work. And then he goes to, Butler and everything. He didn't really win. But I mean, I don't think that takes away from the great career he had, though. He had a great career. So
yeah, but I mean, it'll be it's like I understand Matta like retiring because like it needed to happen.
And I didn't know Greg Oden was on staff, but I mean, I also haven't watched a Butler game in years, honestly. So
well, and I think also, to be honest, it's just when we were hearing that he was getting that vote of confidence for next season a few days ago, before we even heard about his retirement, that kind of told us right then and there, if he was staying next season, he was on a huge inferno. A huge inferno.
I don't think he could have turned it around. Not today. What do you think about Penny Hardaway staying in Memphis?
Pathetic by Memphis. Like, do you not care about winning? Does FedEx just want to throw their money into a fire pit? Like, come on.
I thought Memphis wanted to join the Big 12. That's not the way to join the Big 12, Memphis. Well, I mean,
they should win that league every year, man. Like, as bad as that league is, they should win that league every year. Like them in Wichita, but like if Wichita turns it around, which they seem to be getting better, but like Memphis should be the team, man. And it's like they were pathetically bad. They were horrible.
It's a crap hole these days. Like we used to see like Memphis as this team that was always competing. Now they're just a team that they're just.
You had Calipari and his scandals, and then you had Tubby Smith, and then you had Josh Pastner. Like you had some guys, man, and then it's just Penny. The James Wiseman thing. I thought he was cooked after the James Wiseman thing, but then he still kept his job, and then he's had a little success. But the Florida Atlantic game. The Florida Atlantic game. Oh my gosh! Like they had that game, man. Penny had that game, and then they just blew it and completely created the Dusty May phenomenon. Like, come on, You remember that game. The Memphis.
I totally do remember it. I just remember him throwing the water bottle at the end.
It was crazy, man. I was
man. And Matt was talking about this earlier with us tonight. What if Brad Stevens did go to Butler? I mean, it wouldn't happen, but if it did, though, holy Toledo, that would be a wild story.
Again, Indiana fans would completely lose their mind. I mean, I don't think Indiana basketball fans can be traumatized anymore at this point. I mean, you've got Dusty May as a 1 seed. You've got Kelvin Sampson as a 2 seed. You got Brad Stevens back at Butler. It's just all too much.
Well, and I'm looking at these articles. An article from College Sports Wire at Tyler Natuno. He believes Ronald Norrid at the Hawks could be a candidate for Butler. Travis Steele, Miami, Ohio to Butler.
I feel like Travis Steele should stay at Miami.
At Miami, Ohio. Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of like.
I get that you had your year, you want to jump back up, but I don't think so.
Why not Micah Shrewsbury, man? Like, come on, Micah Shrewsbury.
Why would anybody want Micah Shrewsbury, man? You remember the ref? You remember the ref, man?
How about John Gross at Akron? Like, yeah, because like I know
he's related to Travis Steele, by the way.
Oh yeah. I mean, you want to kind of give that subtle jab to your brother. That's a good way to do it. Be like, I'll succeed the Big East, unlike you, little brother.
Even Cincinnati fired their head coach. Yeah, the turnaround was all for nothing for Wes.
Well, Wes Miller was a dumbass.
They really went out with a whimper against Central Florida.
God.
Yeah, but they had that run late in the regular season. Though.
And Central Florida they've spent 4 times more on NIL than Central Florida, and then Central Florida made the tournament and Cincinnati didn't.
Yeah, Cincinnati is sick to death of their whole athletic department. You know, just being a dumpster fire. Really, I mean, like their football program is not where they had it with Luke Fickell. And Satterfield, he's never going to get them to Big 12 title contention. They're going to get
stayed at Cincinnati, man.
Oh, yeah. Satterfield's a dumbass, and so is Wes Miller. So, bye-bye to both those dumbasses.
Who's worse?
For me, it's Satterfield, because you let Sorsby go, man.
Well, that was money.
I don't care.
You can't win the money, man. Plus his girlfriend went to Tech too, so it was like it was over. It was over.
Oh man. Well, she probably like slammed the door like after he said, "No, I'm staying." She's like, "Oh, let me come with you." But
what do you guys think of the St. Louis Georgia game?
Why does Georgia have a basketball team now? They just funded that NIL pipe train, man. Like, I don't know.
Oh man!
Look,
I want St. Louis to win, but man, they faded.
I would like St. Louis to win that game too, but
there we go.
I'm not confident in it. I mean, man, that end of that Dayton game, man.
That was wild.
Man, back and forth. The three, Avila hit the 3. I'm like, oh, St. Louis is gonna survive, and then Dayton just that tip in, man. I'm like, come on. You gotta be kidding me. I would like to see
I will take your damn call Thursday night. I promise you. I will take your damn call Thursday night. Just not tonight. Gotta get Jeffrey to bed.
Yeah, it would be like.
And I gotta get to bed.
It'd be like 12 o'clock with that guy.
Oh God! I promise you, Caden, you will get your moment Thursday night.
They have to fire Archie Miller at Rhode Island.
Hey, he beat St. Louis, man. That gives another year.
Well, Archie Miller is a meathead, so there you go.
Man, all I know about Archie Miller, man, is like every now and then he gives you one good win, and then they just go back to being trash. I remember when he was at Indiana, man. They beat Luca Garza and number 4 Iowa in Iowa City. And Indiana fans like, we're back. And then the very next week, they lost to Rutgers at home. And it's just like, okay. Yeah.
I mean, they spent as much NIL as VCU.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like Rhode Island, man, they had Hurley. I mean, they used to be all right.
Yeah, they're good.
And
with
even their
Hurley.
women's team, I think, made the tournament. Like, you know, but yeah, they just, I mean, they can't even compete with Providence. Like, they're horrible. You know, Rhode Island, Archie Miller, man, I think he's got to go to he's got to go to the really low.
Maybe be an assistant at Texas for a bit.
If be an assistant, you know, but you know, if he wants to keep coaching, you got to go to like Maine or something. I mean, the thing is, Archie Miller at Dayton, Indiana thought they made the hire of the decade with that guy. I mean, everyone. I remember you go back and watch like ESPN, like back when Indiana was relevant and the Big Ten still was on ESPN. I remember the breaking news. I was watching Scott Van Pelt, and he was like, "Those dusty banners are getting even dustier." But Archie Miller, it actually could bring them back. And I'm like, "You serious? Romeo Langford coming to town the next year? Like, you serious? Like, they're gonna be good."
Man,
Archie Miller bombed. Like, that's all I'm saying. Like, you guys remember probably. Like, when Archie got hired, it was like an A+. Everyone was calling it an A+ hire. Terrible. Absolutely abysmal. He won a couple big games. I know, like, with Langford, they beat the Michigan State team that went to the Final Four both times that year, surprisingly. But that was all they did. Every other game, they were horrible. It's like Archie was never consistent. He never had a good enough team. And at Rhode Island, he's been majorly disappointing. He should be fired. I mean, I ain't gonna lie, he should be fired.
Yeah, I mean,
he's been a disappointment, man.
Yeah, Archie got to go. Bye, Archie. And just kind of like looking at the SB Nation site from Syracuse, not written by Kevin Wall, but I believe by another guy, but it's on the Syracuse site. We'll take a look at that, and then we'll head on to bed, I guess.
Caden says I'm the most hated OSU fan and troll. At least he's calling his own self out on that one.
Okay. So that's another chapter in Caden the Diesel Freed's biography. All righty. So we will go over the storyline from Sam Federman. I don't know why anybody will have that name, but okay. But sorry, Mr. Federman. But here we go. The biggest.
This is the one that everybody wants, Josh Schertz at St. Louis. But they gave him an extension, so he's staying.
Yeah. Oh man, Austin going at it, man. Loving it. Let's go. Oh man. And Brian Hodgson. Like you guys said, he could be getting distracted by the Syracuse calls unless South Florida is really thinking about Louisville. Kyle Smith at Stanford. Tell you the truth, I've not really thought about Kyle Smith as a Syracuse coach. I mean, like maybe if like Stanford wasn't in the Pac-12 or the ACC, maybe, but I doubt it. I doubt.
Yeah, I mean that is the I don't know what I'm looking for here, but like that the reason Kyle Smith is thought of as highly as he is among college basketball fans and media is because he's won a lot of games, and it's in the article there. But he's won a lot of games at programs that are not good. He hasn't won a lot of games that matter with those programs, but he's won a lot of games. Like Stanford, he got them close to the tournament. I mean, Jared Haas couldn't do it. Mm-hmm. And then you think about, you know, when he was at Washington State, like, I mean, they had some years where they were competitive. They made the tournament once, I think, with him. It's like he's done some stuff, but it's just, yeah, he's won a lot of programs that aren't good, but would that translate to an actually better program? Because everybody keeps talking about Syracuse. Syracuse is bad right now. They got a lot of work to do to become good. It's not going to just take a coach. You got to actually commit to wanting to win.
You know how Miami was like looked as the team that would blow out everybody in the ACC once they joined, but then like the moment they've joined, they've always just come up short. With the exception of 2025, of course. I want to say that Syracuse is kind of like that for men's basketball because it's like they've never won a conference title in the ACC since they've joined.
They were good when they first joined, though, and
Right?
what was it,
Yeah, because
2013? Yeah.
yeah, like the last really good year for the regular season they have is like 2013-14, but they had like that Final Four
Mhm.
Cinderella run 2016. That was
Mhm.
good, but yeah, they've always been like a little bit above 500 or right at it or just a little bit below it since 2014-15. That's been so weird.
Like Indiana.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Indiana goes 10-10, 9-11 every year in the Big Ten.
Yeah, because I mean, like Jim Boeheim and Syracuse, and you know what's weird though? Well, not weird, but something that's like pretty historic for Boeheim is like he's the last legend that coached amongst the four when it was Coach Mike Krzyzewski, Roy Williams, Rick Pitino, and himself. But he's also the last OG amongst everyone that coached in the original Big East that's basically still alive. It's like Frank Sheeran on The Irishman, where it's like he was alive with Jimmy Hoffa and all his mafia buddies, right? But he's like the last one living. He's the last one living. Like no Russell Buffalino, no Tony Pro, no nothing. Like Jim Boeheim, it's just him. It's him. Like no John Thompson, no Lou Carnesica. Like just him. He's just chilling. He's chilling at his beach house playing Margaritaville.
I feel bad for Shaheen Holloway, man. Like that guy he lost his entire roster. Like Kadari Richmond, everybody left. That like Kadari Richmond, why'd he leave, man? Like, why'd he leave? Like those kind of guys. Like he gets good players, but then they leave. I think he's good. I really do.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. Shaheen Holloway. The two assistants at UConn, Luke Murray and Kamini Young.
People always think Kamani Young's gonna leave, but he never leaves.
I think he's waiting for the right job. But the right job for Kamini Young, that's gonna be a question. The mid majors, Tony Skinn.
I don't think Tony's leaving.
That sounds like a dude related to Tony Soprano. Or somebody that's buddies like Tony Skinn. Like, hey, yo, Tony Skinn.
George Mason started very well, and then it just collapsed.
It's a hellhole.
Still had a good year. I mean, it's not like they were bad. It's just they fell apart.
Gerard Calhoun at Utah State. Huh. Eric Olin at New Mexico.
I think Eric Olin will probably leave eventually, but not right
Toothpaste.
away.
Langle at Colgate. Toothpaste, that's funny. Phil Martelli Jr.
I don't think Phil will leave yet. I think Phil. I mean, there's a lot of guys that are juniors that can come back next season. So.
Oh yeah. Jerry McNamara. I mean,
it's gonna be probably either Jerry Mack or Hodgson.
Has to be. I mean,
Mary Mack sighting.
Oh man, don't let it spoil with Ben see this.
Hey, Caden is saying some stuff again, Jackson.
Yeah, if you're gonna, Caden, if you're gonna,
gotta make that one a super chat.
Yeah, you gotta make it a super chat, and I'll read it. So but I don't know if I would be saying that out on a chat, but that's just me, Caden.
Yeah.
So I mean that, but Casey Alexander Belmont, Ryan the Riddler at Mercer, Matt Brouch, Stephen F. Austin,
Pacific.
Jeez. Man, it really is going to be like Glengarry Glenn Ross when Gonzaga officially
maybe Porter Moser would want to leave.
No. Coaches, I wouldn't hire Mike Hopkins. No, he's happy in the NBA.
He did not do good at Washington.
Nobody can. Travis Steele, no. John Gross, no.
Jay Wright, Bennett, Donovan, Brad Stevens. I mean, the fact they even put those in there is just.
Well, they said that as a formality, so
Yeah, but it's a waste of time, man. It's like Indiana with Brad Stevens. I kept telling him, "No, Jeffrey, we're gonna get him." No, you're not. You're not getting Brad. You're not getting Brad. You had a shot at Dusty, but you kept Woodson, so it's over. I mean, no, you're not. You're not getting Brad. You're never getting Brad. So just stop talking about Brad. It's over. Like it is over. And I know it says dial formality, but you're wasting your time. You're wasting your time.
Oh man. But yeah, it's like for me, it's Jerry McNamara or
Brian
Hodgson.
Yeah.
Syracuse got to up their game, man. They have really just let themselves.
Well, they spent a lot of money on Donnie Freeman, but he hasn't really worked out.
Yeah, but we'll wait and see what happens.
They spent a lot of money to get him from DC St. John's Cadets because he had the buzzer beater to win the championship, and then went to IMG for his senior year. But yeah, good show, boys.
Oh, thanks, man.
That was fun. Definitely fun doing it with Matt. Great time. Definitely excited to do the show tomorrow with Austin on the March Madness, making all of our predictions. But it'll be fun. I'm definitely glad. Appreciate you guys for having me on. It was a good time. I'm excited, man. It starts tomorrow. You know, balls tip, one shot a moment. All that stuff's coming up, man.
For sure, man. Like, tell your friends, your family, and the cashiers at pubs about the magic that Jeffrey is creating on Only Talk Sports, where he talks sports every single day, or at least he tries to, all right here on Only Talk Sports. Also, check out Will and D on Will and D, and also check me out on Jackson Johnson 979 right here as 266 subs from that magic number 1,000. But let's also get Will over to 500. Let's also get Jeffrey over to 3,000. And with that being said, like, comment, subscribe, click on the notification bell to each of our channels so you never miss no video whatsoever. And we will see y'all soon. Good night, everybody.